So every guitar player learns this chord when they're in their first week of learning how to play the guitar. And that shape's fine and it works and everybody uses it all the time. But let's take this same shape and see what happens when I slide it up one fret and add a bass note into the bottom string. This new chord has a lush and colorful sound that's a lot more interesting than the original voicing. But all we were doing is taking a shape that you know, moving it to a different place on the neck, incorporating some open strings, and now we have a whole different harmonic palette to work with. So today I'm going to show you 10 of the most lush, less usual, and underutilized chord voicings that take advantage of open strings and give you some of these nice chiming big chord voicings. Because these shapes are so unique, I've actually put together a full PDF guide with fret diagrams and the theory behind each one of the voicings over on Patreon. So you can check that out. The link is in the description if you want to dive deeper into that. But the core idea for this lesson is simple. It's going to be taking something that you already know and moving it to different positions on the neck. So here's where this whole thing starts. Let's take your standard E major chord. Now take your ring finger off that fourth string and let that open D ring out. What you're left with is an E7. So this is nothing special yet, but this shape right here, this particular grip, is going to be one of the most important tools in the lesson as we move forward. And the reason is simple. Because of the open strings and the way the intervals are stacked, this shape is going to be utilized as a mobile chord form. We're going to get into these mobile chords. That means you could pick up the whole chord, just like power chords or some of these other simple shapes, and you can move it up or down the neck, and every new position that you move it into is going to give you a completely different chord. And most of them sound great. So let's turn one shape into 6 different chords, each of them having a completely different personality and unique characteristics with regard to color and definition. And let's walk through them right now. So starting from that E7 in first position, now let's slide the whole grip up 1 fret, and then we're going to plant our index finger on the 6th string, 1st fret. So we're going to take this, move it up a half step. We're going to change our fingerings a little bit that you can see in the diagram. We're going to add a bass note to it. Now we get this voicing. So that's our first lush chord. That's a F major 13 sharp 11. And this is a really nice voicing that's both really colorful and very much underused. And you didn't have to learn a new shape, you just moved the one that you already had and got more use out of it. Now let's take this exact grip and move it again. We're going to move it up to the 3rd fret. Now we get the same shape, but we get a chord that sounds like this. Now we got a voicing that's a G6. So it's a completely different harmonic function, and it's got a completely different mood for it, but it's the same shape. Now let's take that same shape and move it up to the 5th fret. It's going to give us this. Now this is going to give us an A major chord, but it's going to add in the 4th and it's going to add in the 9th. So it's adding in a lot more color. So now the open strings start really interacting with the fretted notes in a different way, and you get these tight clustered sounds because of the open B string against the fretted D string, which creates this attitude that you just can't get from a regular bar chord. Now let's take this same shape and move it up to the 8th fret. We get this. Now we're back playing in C major territory. But instead of the standard straightforward C major chord, because of this open string underneath, it gives it more of a floating quality. So it's not as grounded as your typical straightforward C triad. So here's your basic C triad. And now here's what happens when we add in these open voices. So it's a lot bigger, a lot more colorful. Let's take this same shape again, move it up to the 10th fret. Jazz players will take advantage of that and use a chord like this all the time at the end of a tune because it has that resolved quality, but not really due to the ninth that's being used in that chord. Now let's move it up to the 12th fret. So now we're back to E7, but it's not the same E7 that you were starting out with. We got the same notes, we got the same function, but the open strings ringing through underneath give it a completely different character. So that's the power of the mobile grip. One shape gives you 6 different positions with 6 different chords, and every one of them sounds like something guitar players are looking for because it's got that color, and each one of them have their own unique personality. So before we get into the next section, I want to mention that this video is sponsored by Melanair. Melanair sent me the LM2 lavalier mic that you see that I'm wearing right now. It has a regular environment setting, but I prefer the 2 noise reduction settings and a deeper AI noise reduction setting. There's an extra mic, which is great, so if one runs out of power, you have a backup, and each one of these have a 10-hour window before you have to worry about charging them. I'll get the link for this and put it in the description if you want to check it out. Now let's get back to the rest of the lesson. All right, now here's where things get interesting. There's another mobile grip that lives in the same neighborhood, and this one has a direct line to the Jimi Hendrix type sound. That's an E major 9 chord. Most people consider this to be one of the most beautiful chord voicings of all time, and Hendrix used it to open up his song Angel. And the reason it sounds like that cool, open, floaty quality, is because it's built on the same principle. It's a grip that creates an unusual interval relationship when the open strings ring against the fretted strings. So note that this is a bit of a stretch and will take some practice, especially the guts in the middle. Peaceful. But once you get used to this shape, there's all kinds of applications, so it's definitely worth it. Now let's take this same shape, and we're going to move it down 2 frets. So this is going to give you an F sharp minor 7 over E, which is an equally beautiful but different characteristic chord. So notice how the mood shifts completely. We went from something bright and open to something dark and mysterious. Same shape, just moving it around on the neck to give you a different attitude. So let's check out the E major to dark, back to E, now let's take this shape and move it up where the first finger's at the 9th fret. Gives us a completely different attitude. So this is going to give us an E major 6. And we can even go back and forth between this new shape and the original. And they're both going to be E major, but with a different attitude. And both of them are going to take advantage of the same shape and also open strings, but it's going to completely change the nature of the chord. Now let's move it down. We'll move it down 2 frets to the 7th, where the index finger is on the 7th fret. Same shape though, fixed shape, just moved it down here. So this gives us a B minor 7 over E. And this is in the neighborhood of what Hendrix used to kick off Third Stone from the Sun. It's got that spacey floating intro, and that sound comes directly from this particular grip that we've been moving around. All right, now I want to shift gears a little bit. Everything I've shown you so far has been about moving a fixed shape up and down the neck. But there's another way to get beautiful chords that's even simpler, and Stevie Ray Vaughan used it to build one of the most gorgeous guitar recordings ever made in his song called Lenny. And the tonic chord, the 1 chord, the chord that the entire song is built around, sounds like this. So this is that E major 13 voicing, and it's in the same family as that Hendrix E major 9 shape, but the added 13th on top gives it a warmth and a creaminess. So the sound of this entire tune, Lenny, is the sound of this E major 13. Going to our next voicing, the A6, which is another nice, lush voicing. Now let's take this shape from A6 and move it up 2 frets to the B6, where the root is on the 7th fret. Now let's make the root on the 10th fret. So that gives us a D6, and that gives us another different colorful voicing that we could use out of this. Let's take a look at our next chord. So this is an unusual voicing also, that Stevie Ray used in Riviera Paradise. So he starts with this E minor 9 voicing, and then goes to an A13 voicing, which is another nice big voicing. Now this is a more conventional grip, but when paired with this open E minor 9, you get the harmonic language of that entire song. These two chords and these two particular chord shapes. That's basically the whole composition. So both of them come down to the same idea, finding a grip that sounds beautiful and then moving it to wherever the harmony takes you. Let's put those two together. So now I want to show you another way that you can use some of these colorful sounds. And this one might be the simplest one of all that we've done today. Instead of moving a whole shape up the neck, what we're going to do is just change one note. So we're going to take that standard open E major again. And from the standard E major, we're just going to shift out one note. So the ring finger is going to go up a whole step. And it's going to give you this, the F sharp. So from here, we're going here. And now we have this voicing. So by taking that F sharp on the 4th string, 4th fret, this is going to give us an E add 9. And the result is a very beautiful sounding chord. One note from the original shape, and that's all we needed to do to open this up and bring it some color. So now let's keep this F sharp, and this time we're going to add it to the high E string, 2nd fret. So now we're going to get a chord like this. Now this is a tricky chord to play, and you might want to mess around with your own fingerings because it's really weird. So this is going to give you another E minor 9 chord. And because that open G is ringing out against the F sharps that you're fretting, it gives it a different color and a different attitude than you would ordinarily get from conventional voicings. Now let's modify another conventional chord, our open A. All we're going to do is replace the A with its 9th by shifting it up a half step. So now we'll get this. And we added that B note, which took the place of the A on the 4th fret, 3rd string. So this A9 is a nice sound. But we can also take it and shift it up a half step, the whole thing, and keep these open string. Now we have a sound like this. So instead of trying to get all of these chord shapes down in one day, just pick one chord shape and maybe move it up and down the neck and see how you like the various different sounds and attitudes that you can get from it. Or maybe pick 2 of the chord shapes that resonate with you the most and go back and forth. I got the full PDF guide with the diagrams for all of these chord voicings over on Patreon if you want to use that as your roadmap. Otherwise, go pick a shape and mess around with it and see what you can get out of it. I'll see you later.